When we talk about Western tanks from the Cold War era, most people mention the American M60 Patton or the British Chieftain, but there's another one, less famous, yet highly influential. It's the German Leopard 1A3, fast, powerful, and deadly. Hello everyone, you're watching WOT News, and today we're diving into one of the most fascinating tanks ever made in Germany, the Leopard 1A3. This tank might appear in the game as a Tier 11 vehicle in the upcoming 2.0 update, based on recent images found on the game's official portal. No official in-game stats yet, but we've prepared a full historical breakdown just like we did with the T64. So if you like this kind of content, drop a like, comment your thoughts, and let's not waste time. Let's go. Picture this. It's the 1950s. West Germany is gradually being allowed to rebuild its army. The Soviet Union already has the T-54, T-55, and soon the T-62. The West needs a proper response. That's how the Leopard 1 was born. And its third variant, the 1A3, became one of the most balanced in the series. Development began in 1956, when it became clear that Western Europe needed its own main battle tank. By 1965, the first Leopard rolled out, and by the 1970s, the upgraded versions were ready. The Leopard 1A3 followed a classic layout: driver's compartment in the front, fighting compartment in the middle, engine at the rear. Unlike Soviet tanks, the Leopard focused not on armor, but on speed and accuracy. Its turret featured a new welded design with spaced armor, and its internal layout was ergonomic and crew-friendly. 4 men: commander, gunner, loader, and driver. The Leopard wasn't a heavily armored brute. It was light, fast, and calculated. A true hunter. Now imagine, it's the early 1970s. West Germany, the engineering heart of Europe. The Cold War is in full swing. NATO sends out a request. We don't just need a tank that can take a hit. We need one that sees first, shoots first, and survives first. That's when the German industrial giants went to work. First, the legendary Krauss-Maffei AG plant in Munich. This is where the main hulls and chassis were produced. Huge workshops, yellow factory lights, precise welding. Every steel plate polished to perfection, every bolt placed with millimeter precision. Next, the city of Kiel, the Mack Maschinenbau Kiel GmbH factory. Here, they built the Leopard 1A3's defining feature, its new welded turret. Unlike the older cast turrets, this one had angled flat plates, better at deflecting heat rounds. They also installed radios, the EMES 12 sight, spall liners, and optical systems here. And then, a lesser-known but crucial factory, Jungjungenthal GmbH in Rhineland-Palatinate. They specialized in transmissions, engine components, and mechanical assemblies, the kind of parts you never see, but without them, no Leopard would ever move. This machine, from tracks to gun, wasn't built in one place. It was forged in a synchronized network of 3 engineering hubs. A true display of German precision above all. About 1,100 Leopard 1A3s were produced. Some newly built, some upgraded from A1 and A2 models. When the turret from Kiel, hull from Munich, and components from Jungenthal came together, they created a machine built not just to move, but to dominate. And soon, these tanks would leave Germany. Some went to Canada and became the Leopard C1, others to Turkey, Denmark, Greece, and decades later, even Ukraine, 50 years after they were born. But all of them were made here, in German factories, where steel and precision took form in a tank the world wouldn't forget. The Leopard 1A3 didn't have thick armor, and that was intentional. Designers knew no amount of steel could withstand Soviet 115 or 125mm shells, so they went with speed and stealth instead. Frontal armor up to 70mm, the turret had angled plates and spaced side skirts to counter heat rounds. It featured Wegemann smoke launchers, 6 tubes for creating smoke screens. It had a low silhouette and excellent optics, allowing it to engage targets from a distance, before the enemy could return fire. The main gun, a British-made Royal Ordnance L7, 105mm caliber, one of the best guns of its time. It fired APDS, HE, and heat rounds. Gunner had the stabilized EMES 12A1 sight, while the commander had an independent view system. The 1A3 featured improved optics, updated fire control tables, and a night channel. Ammo load, 60 rounds. Also equipped with a coaxial 7.62mm MG3 and another MG3 for anti-air use. Mobility and maneuverability. The Leopard 1A3 didn't play the armor game. It played the speed game. Engine, MTU MB838 CAM 500. Power, 830 horsepower. Top speed, 65 km per hour. Range up to 600 km with auxiliary tanks. Suspension, torsion bar with hydraulic shock absorbers allowing smooth movement over rough terrain, and stable gun control while on the move. It was incredibly agile, a huge advantage in European battlefields. But in muddy off-road terrain, Soviet tanks like the T-64 or T-72 had better traction due to their wider tracks and heavier build. Leopard 1A3 never faced Soviet tanks in direct combat, but it became a key part of NATO's armored forces across Europe. It was widely exported to Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, Canada, Turkey, Brazil, and Chile. It saw action in operations in Yugoslavia, conflict zones in Turkey, UN missions, and NATO exercises. And even in 2023, modernized Leopard 1s began arriving in Ukraine as a symbol of unity against aggression. No, these aren't the newest tanks, but in skilled hands, they remain a deadly opponent. Despite its limited armor, the Leopard 1A3 gained respect in many armies. Tankers praised its accuracy, ergonomics, and combat efficiency. Here are real-world impressions from military sources. Canada, Leopard C1 based on 1A3. Source, Army.ca, Canadian Army Manuals and Veterans. Thoughtful Leopard C1 was a big upgrade from the Centurion. The optics were clear, guns stable even while moving. Inside, everything was made for work, not survival. Armor didn't forgive mistakes, but if you did things right, it was your tank. Denmark, Leopard 1 DK. Source, instructor interviews from 1980s tank training courses. It was crew-friendly, easy to maintain. We especially liked it on German training grounds. Good mobility, accurate gun. A tank for those who acted fast, not those hiding behind armor. Turkey, Leopard 1A3 from German surplus. Source, Defense Industry Daily. Thoughtful, the tank performed well in mountainous terrain. Turret rotation was quick. Stabilizers allowed firing from cover. Armor was a downside, but if you avoided direct hits, it held up well. Greece, Leopard 1A3 and A5GR. Source, Hellenic General Staff and Elvo Modernization Program. Thoughtful, it was a smart, lightweight platform. We used it in rough terrain and it never failed when firing. After upgrading to A5GR, it became one of the most balanced tanks in our fleet. The Leopard 1A3 was a tank crews didn't fear, they understood it. It wasn't over-armored, it was balanced. And in skilled hands, it wasn't just a tank, it was a tool. It proved that a tank doesn't need to be the heaviest to be effective. It laid the foundation for the legendary Leopard 2, today's Western tank standard. Its philosophy, see first, shoot first, survive first, became the core doctrine for all future NATO MBTs. So friends, that's our video for today. Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. We've got tons of great videos about the game, plus regular live streams where I chat with the community. And don't forget, the reason I can record this and you can watch it is because of the defenders of Ukraine. Support Ukraine, support the armed forces. Good luck and glory to Ukraine.